So, hey guys, Chelsea here. So yeah, I'm recording this video before doing my pool, so I hope that I had good luck in the future, but yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, I'm making this video just to talk about Last Tap a bit, which is the new big mechanic coming to global. We get the first 3 Last Tap units on this Sugo with the new Luffy, Law, and Kid. And JP has 1 more Last Tap unit in Yamato. But for now we'll focus on this 3, and the main focus on this topic will be like why Last Tap is not a big deal at all, really, in my opinion. At least not maxing out Last Tap, to clarify. But yeah, let's talk about them one by one, I think. So yeah, let's take a look at Luffy first. And yeah, I forgot first to say that Last Tap is called Final Tap on Global. Like, I don't know what I think. I think it was just silly to change the name at all. Last Tap was fine. Final Tap feels like the same, but usually I go with the global names, but yeah, I guess I like Last Tap more though. But yeah, I'll try and use Final Tap now in this video. And yeah, the thing with Luffy is that he has the easiest requirement to fulfill. He just needs to get to the final battle and he gets his Final Tap. And yeah, the main ones we want to focus on is level 1 and then level 5. Let's start with level 1. And Luffy's niche is that when he attacks last on final stage, he gets a base attack boost. And yeah, this stacks with Luffy's special. If you look at this special, Luffy gets a base attack boost depending on the number of recovery he has consumed. So you can get up to 1000 extra attack by doing that. And then with Last Tap here, you can get an extra 300 level 1. And then going down to level 5, you can get an extra up to 1000. And level 5 introduces another big thing for this Luffy, that he gets a 1 slot when he attacks on final stage last. And this is basically just extra damage. You can say, like, normally beneficial orbs are 2 times attack, but 1 is 2.5 times attack. So yeah, it just stacks Luffy's special even more. And I like to say that Luffy's is the one that is like the most reliably extra damage. Like, it's always extra damage when Luffy hits last. And Luffy's all full kit is about him hitting last, him doing the most damage. Another selfish Luffy unit is kind of like Stampede Luffy, but not that selfish, but still a bit selfish. The thing is though that, and yeah, we'll get back to this a lot with the other units as well. It's just that, like, if you think about content, like the difficulty of content, how often are you lacking a lot of damage final stage? Like, if you think about popular teams for grinding, say, arenas and such, like, how often is the damage super tight? It's not. Like, usually teams are designed so you have some leeway. Like, maybe not, oh, you can miss totally leeway, but some leeway. Like, you can maybe hit a grade or 2 and be fine. Most popular teams are like that. Like, people have different investments and such. But like, the extra damage you can get from maxed Last Tap on final stage here is just quite substantial. And like, it's not like the content gets more difficult together with this. Like, it's one of my big complaints with this game, that the content has really been stagnant in terms of difficulty. Like, okay, it's not like it's not getting harder at all. It's going steadily upwards a bit, but the power of units is increasing even faster, so difficulty does definitely not keep up. And yeah, then some might say, yeah, but what about Kisuna? And yeah, sure, it would be nice for Kisuna, but first two thing, or I want to address three things in regards to Kizuna. Okay, the first one is how often do you go so hard in a Kizuna that you struggle to kill? I personally can't remember the last time that happened, and I do one team for all in Kizuna. Those teams do not optimize damage. If I wanted to optimize damage, my teams will last even longer. So then we get to the next part, which is, okay, Super Boss Kizuna, surely it's good here. And yeah, sure. But, firstly, about Super Boss Kizuna, people don't even want to use real teams there. People want to try and cheese it because it's too annoying, it takes too long time, you have to waste too much materials. So yeah, they try to get it in other ways, making zombie teams and such. So who cares about Kizuna if you don't even want to use it in Kizuna? And even if you did use it in Kizuna, like, we're not talking like, oh, with last tap you can beat the super boss in Kizuna for like 10 more levels or something, but no, it's like very few extra levels by last tap. And that's Luffy in particular. Yeah. Otherwise, like, I think it's good. Like, if last tap was more available, then it will be fine. But like, last tap now is like a whale mechanic in this game, and I'm honestly fine with it since last tap really doesn't add that much value. So if Banner can make money off it, why not? But yeah, let's move on to Law. Oh, I don't even have to click the unit, but I think I'll do it anyway. There we go. Law's requirement. Final battle and cruise HP is at 70% or above. That can actually be a quite annoying requirement, as I discovered. Like, I did a team with Law against Kid Forest, and yeah, I was not even close to getting that requirement. Granted, like, Kid Forest is a strength boss, so Law is whatever there, but yeah, I can see that being possible to miss quite frequently, especially since Law himself, like, it's not like he's a frail captain, but he doesn't really have much healing. Like, he has his captain ability that gives some passive healing with perfects, like it's better than nothing. Super type has 25% healing that can overheal, but yeah, that's not really enough, and definitely not enough to guarantee 70%. But yeah, let's look at the level 1. Adds percentage damage worth of 5% of enemy's HP on top of the final damage. Okay, so let's get this straight. This damage that Law adds, new mechanic, it ignores normal attacks only. It sounds super good, but yeah, the way this works is that if you, like, it's not 5% of full HP, it's 5% of the HP when Law hits, and last tap only works if Law hits last. So it's 5% of the damage the enemy has when Law hits last, when the enemy is already weakened. So yeah, you kind of get where I'm going at with this. I think it won't be a lot of damage at all. Like, it's not like it won't be any damage. Like, level 5 is 20%, so it will be like a super strong crit extra damage, not bad at all. And it's guaranteed, so you can't complain. The other thing about Law is that at level 5 he sets defense to 0, and he boosts damage dealt to death enemies by 3 times for 1 turn. First to note, this does not bypass full immunity. Like, if it did, it will be absolutely busted, and I'd recommend everybody to try and max it, like spend all their last tap tablets on it and such. But it's not, which brings down the value. One more thing that brings down the value is that only Law gets this extra damage, and yeah, that might sound like a small thing since it's 3x conditional, which is pretty absurd. But that can matter in some cases, and like, it heavily depends on the color of the boss as well, like if that is very helpful or not. But yeah, basically because of that, this last tap is very unreliable. Sure, like the guaranteed extra damage is nice, but not that big of a difference. It's like a super crit only for final stage. And the death down is unreliable, and to really get value out of it, you want Law to hit against color affinity anyway, so a quick boss. So basically level 1 is fine, because with level 1 you get Law's ability to bypass resilience, because this ability does bypass resilience, even if it's a bit annoying. Like, it bypasses resilience as long as the enemy is not at 1 HP when Law hits them last. Because like if it's 1 HP, like it scales down or something, so Law doesn't trigger this mechanic. Is very weird. But yeah, if the enemy is 2 HP or above, and you kill with Law last tap level 1, you will kill through resilience. So that's a pretty nice option, and you have it at level 1. Level 5 just becomes a super crit, and you get the very situational death down conditional. So I like this. Sounds like the best one, but I will definitely not max it. Like, I do it with dupes, not the precious last tablet. Final tap tablet we're getting. Finally, Kid. And I definitely think he has the most useful last tap of the bunch, since it's so unique. Like, you need to be below 51% HP at the final battle. This is kind of like Law's annoying, but not as annoying, because Kid does manipulate his HP by himself quite a bit. So pretty easy by that, but yeah, requirements you still need to think about them when team building, but yeah, this isn't that bad. Level 1, makes characters' normal attacks hit all enemies. So yeah, basically Kid, when he hits last on final stage, his attack becomes AoE, area of effect, so he hits all enemies. This ignores normal attack only, or rather than ignore, the mechanics don't have nothing to do with each other. Like, this just changes normal attack, so it hits all units. It doesn't do any damage from the special or something. Then when you start to level it up, you start adding chain lock. And it's a very weird chain lock, because usually with chain locks, like, you need to start a chain, and like someone has it a good or higher, and then the chain gets started. But this Kid chain thingy, like, you can do 5 misses, then hit a perfect with Kid, and you get the value that is listed. So that is super weird in my book, but that's the way it works. And I feel like Kid's last tap gets a bit of underserved criticism. Like, yeah, I get it, like, chain lock is not the future, it's the past. And while 4.5 times is very high, it will probably not look that good pretty soon compared to what you can do with like chain set, chain multiplier, chain boosts. So yeah, just having that means you have the potential of actually doing less damage with Kid. Like, I do think it's good, because most of the time that will be more damage in like almost all circumstances, right now at least. But even if I had the dupes to rainbow a Kid, I'd be reluctant to do it still, unless I had a Kid dupe. Because like the difference, like, it's not that big in the end. But yeah, for level 1 last tap, Kid is easily the best on global right now. He has a new mechanic. You can approach content in new ways. And yeah, just a very strong, unique mechanic to Kid. And I think it's super cool, and I look forward to playing around with it for sure. I figured I'd talk a bit about Yamato as well, since obviously Yamato has a better last tap, like in terms of damage output. Like, doubling chain is pretty crazy, especially since Yamato has an easy way to increasing chain as well. Like, Yamato can realistically reach a 20-time chain. But we are back to the same argument I used with Luffy. When do we need all that extra damage? We do not struggle to kill stuff. The difficulty has not increased on JP either that much. We're not getting any super hard content. We will not need that. And then we can bring up Kizuna again, but we already talked about that. So, yeah, personally what I'll do with my few last tap tablets is save them for a last tap that truly is busted, and probably not just due to damage. It needs to be something else, kind of like with kids, something unique, something outrageous. And yeah, I think it's possible. I don't have any good ideas like out of the top of my head. Like, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe some sort of ignoring all defensive effects, including defense on last hit. Something like that will be pretty incredible, utility-wise, and maybe add some extra damage too, maybe something like that. But yeah, the main reason I made this video is because people are really obsessed with last tap, but I challenge you to try and find teams online that truly rely on last tap. Like, I have a ton of respect for fellow JP team builders, like, yeah, you know, the good JP team builders. But like when they showcase last tap units, like they have to be careful to not kill the enemy on the final stage before hitting with last tap. That's kind of how it is. Like, we don't need that extra damage. But yeah, if last tap was more accessible and you could do it, then I'd find it pretty fun because it will open up a lot of meme potential. And it might still do, like maybe I'll find some global whale friends who max their last tap a bit. And I can do some fun creative stuff with it. But yeah, for optimal content, it's really not needed. But yeah, that's just me talking about final tap, or last tap, whatever you want to call it a bit. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.